Get ready for India's fluffiest breakfast.
Oh, what a start.
Crispy dosa that are served to more than 3,000 people a day.
The crunch is surreal.
And one of the country's most unusual dishes.
This is really heavy.
I'm exploring Bengaluru's most famous foods, all with one mission. It's got to be traditionally plant-based. From a rice and lentil batter that is fermented into incredible breakfast staples, to spicy curries that are served with a donut-like fritter. I'm on the hunt for Bengaluru's iconic dishes that just happen to be vegan. So let's get started. Welcome to Bengaluru, the capital of the state of Karnataka, also known as the Silicon Valley of India. The booming tech industry might have propelled Bengaluru onto the global stage, but here in the south of the country it is still known as a gastronomic hub.
What's up guys, I'm pumped to try the traditional food of this city, starting with breakfast. Now breakfast in India is a discipline in itself, and we're gonna kick things off with the fluffiest one of them all, idli.
Soft steam pillows of fermented rice and lentils, a soothing chutney that packs a punch, and that for just 10 cents. Say hello to Bengaluru's most iconic breakfast. After quitting his job in the city's famed tech industry, Krishnan turned his parents' idli shop into a local breakfast hotspot, with people lining up as early as 6:30 a.m. to kick the day into gear.
Our idli was first started off in 2001 by my father. We started off as a batter shop. We used to sell idli and dosa batter. And over a period of time, we developed and we started selling idlis. The origin of idli dates back to several centuries before. It's easy to make, it's light on your stomach, it's very stomach friendly. You can never go wrong with an idli.
Now he and his team are showing me how this historic staple quite literally comes to life. It all starts with two humble ingredients. First, soaked lentils are ground into a smooth, almost foam-like batter, whilst rice is turned into a coarser paste. Once both of them are combined, they are seasoned with salt and given a full-arm mix. It's a method that might raise a few eyebrows, but it's an essential step since the skin contact is known to kickstart the fermentation. After a few hours, the microbes at work have transformed the mixture into a light and fluffy fermented batter. Give it a final mix, then it's already showtime. One by one, ladles of the sponge-like batter are poured onto dedicated molds before they are stacked inside an idli steamer. Here, the power of evaporation cooks them into clouds of perfection. But of course, idli are only one part of the breakfast equation. Time for the next one, the coconut chutney. First, hand-picked fiery chilies are also destined for the grinder, where they are mixed with split chickpeas and water to turn them into a coarse paste. Next up, you guessed it, are fresh coconuts. After cracking them open, their fate is sealed with what could be described as the most dangerous kitchen tool I've ever seen, though its efficiency cannot be denied. Add the grated coconut and some fresh coriander leaves, then let the machine run its steady course until it has turned the handful of ingredients into a light and aerated chutney. Now mix in some toasted lentils, crispy curry leaves and water for the finishing touch. Then it's finally time to bring it all together. A few idli, a dollop of chutney, and breakfast is ready.
Here we go, this is the idli. They feel incredibly fluffy. They are super warm. Let's tuck in. So I'm just gonna tear a piece off and dunk it into that coconut chutney all around. The idli in Bangalore. Let's try. Oh, that idli, wow. It's so fluffy. It's like biting onto a cloud. But what it does is it soaks up all of that chutney. So when you tear a piece off and you dunk it into the chutney here, you get all of that flavor soaked into that soft, warm idli. And then every now and then, as you mop up the chutney, you get these little pieces of fried urad dal. That is an explosion of flavor. It's the most wonderful roasted lentil flavor, unbelievable, in that chutney. And I heard about a little tip. Once you finish your chutney, you can actually go in for a free top-up. So let's grab some more. Thank you. Free chutney top-up. How good is that? Man, what a way to start Bangalore.
Watching how something as simple as rice and lentils slowly transform through fermentation reminds me that not every process needs to be rushed. And that's something I've been struggling with for a while. I'm back home now in the UK, recording this because I wanted to share something personal. At the beginning of a new year, we set resolutions for a version of ourselves that we think we should become. But quite often we slip back into our old habits. I see that a lot in myself. I'm an extreme perfectionist. And that's both a blessing and a curse. It means that I do have a lot of ambition to get things done, but it also means that nothing is ever really good enough. Producing episodes like this one, creating my social channels, or writing my book are things I'm super proud of. But the process was really filled with what ifs and doubts about the future, and the moment they're done, rather than being excited about it, my mind just goes on to the next thing. Over time I've realized that this drive for perfection is actually a coping mechanism. It's a way my mind learned to deal with the world. And that realization has been a breakthrough, because it means that I can recognize the patterns behind it. One big step towards that has been therapy. Through that I was able to take that internal conversation out of my head and get a different perspective on it by speaking to somebody professional. If you want to give it a go, my paid partner BetterHelp makes starting therapy simple. All you've got to do is fill out a questionnaire and you'll be matched with a therapist in just a few days. And if it's not the right match, you can switch at any time. Viewers of my channel can get 10% off their first month of therapy by visiting betterhelp.com/Hermann or by just clicking the link in the description. I really believe that therapy can be useful for everyone, and I hope you're gonna give it a go. Now back to Bengaluru for another icon from the city. So idli is made with a fermented rice and lentil batter, but that same batter is used in other famous South Indian dishes. One of them is even more iconic than idli and known all across the world, the one and only dosa. Name me the most iconic Indian dish and it's probably the mighty dosa. But when you think of dosa, this might not be the one you had in mind. Thicker and more golden than its famed cousin, this is the secret favorite that locals swear by for both breakfast and lunch. Here at Vidyarthi Bhavan, 3,000 of them are knocked out every single day. A proof of the cult status the restaurant holds with the city's loyal crowd.
It started in 1943 as a student's canteen to cater to the needs of their breakfast. So this was a meeting place for a lot of people. What we call here in the local language called as adda, to hang around with friends. So this place has become an adda for a lot of people. They have a lot of fond memories associated with this place. What we say is we are just the custodians of their thoughts and memories. We want to preserve it.
Cooked to crispy perfection and stuffed with a fragrant potato masala, I wanted to find out how this local's favorite is actually made. Like many iconic dishes, this one too starts with a powerful filling. In this case, it's the potato masala. To pull it off, cooked potatoes are coarsely mashed with the most underrated of all tools, 2 plates. Then they are flavored with coriander and a mixture of onions, spices, split chickpeas, curry leaves and salt. Give it a final mix and it's already time to hit the stove. Here, a mixture similar to the idli batter is used to shape one perfect circle after the other onto the giant tawa. Within seconds, heat and fermentation react, creating the iconic air holes that puff up the dosa. Drizzle it with plenty of oil for the ultimate crispiness, then flip it over for a brief sear on the other side. Once flipped back, the dosa is ready to receive the fragrant masala. At this point, time for a disclaimer. Though masala dosa is often vegan, many places like Vidyarthi Bhavan add a dollop of butter at this stage. To keep it plant-based, just do it like me and ask for one without. Now, let's finish the dosa. Fold it over for the perfect crust with a golden shine, then let the show begin. One by one, plates of masala dosa are stacked higher and higher and higher until a tower of dosa goodness emerges from the kitchen and sets sail for its final destination under the wooden ceiling and humming fans of Bengaluru's quintessential establishment. Add some coconut chutney, then it's time to tuck in. And here we go, we've got our dosai, it's actually pronounced dosai, with coconut chutney. That looks absolutely sensational. Golden brown, dark golden brown. First thing you notice is, it's a thicker dosa than in most parts of India where I've been so far. But what's really iconic here is that dark golden crust. There's no cutlery with this, so the way to attack this is just to go straight in. It's so crunchy. And it gives way, and then you have this soft masala underneath and the pieces of potato in there. They're not completely smooth. And then I'm gonna dip that into that chutney here. This is so exciting. Here we go. The crunch is sensational. That combination of that crunchy dosa, the soft masala, and then you get that flavor some chutney kicking. Whoa, that is serious. That is honestly sensational. Golden brown, dark golden brown. The crunch is surreal. That is unbelievable. And then, who would have thought, you can wash it down with coffee. So usually the coffee will come with milk, right? And you would pour it into this vessel here, and then back into the cup. What that would do when you have milk in there, it would froth up the milk even more. It would also cool down the coffee because right now it's piping hot.
So you can cool it down a little bit this way, and then just have a sip of coffee after your dosa. And that is sweet coffee, strong sweet coffee. Oh, that is another flavor sensation. That is so much fun. Strong sweet coffee, crispy, crunchy flavors in dosa with masala and coconut chutney. What a treat. It's a new day, it's bright and early. Yesterday I said I'm in Bengaluru, but the preferred name here is actually Bengaluru. And we're gonna kick things off with another iconic breakfast, Vada Sambar.
Some people like sweet breakfast, others like savory. This deserves a category of its own. Crisp golden lentil fritters meet the epitome of South Indian curries. Cooked in a cauldron that would make any magician proud, it's a formula of over 20 ingredients, all cooked together in various stages to create a bowl of comfort at the dawn of day. A short drive from the bustling city of Bengaluru, Vada Lakshmi has turned a roadside restaurant into a local sensation.
16 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೇನೆ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡೋ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಇಳಿದಿದ್ದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನು ರೈತರ ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ತೋಟಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸಗಾರ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡಿಡೋದು. ನಾವು ಮುಂಚೆಯಿಂದನೂ ಇತ್ತು ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ತಪ್ಪಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಊಟ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಹೋಟ್ಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಅಂತ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಓದಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ನಮಗೂ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಒಡನಾಟ, ಒಂದು ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಜನಗಳು ಒಂದು ಒಡನಾಟ ಇರ್ತೈತೆ. ದೊಡ್ಡ ತಪ್ಪಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅದೇ ಒಂದು ಖುಷಿ ನಮಗೆ.
With its reputation now pulling locals out of the city to taste Vada Lakshmi's food, I ventured out during the early hours to see what it's all about. The breakfast feast has humble beginnings. First, lentils are soaked in water before they are ground into a cloud-like batter, one we now know all too well from our savory breakfast friends Idli and Dosa. Then it's time to amp up the flavors. A mix of dried curry leaves, chili, ginger and grated coconut are added together with cumin, black pepper, rice flour and fresh curry leaves. Stir it very well and the batter is ready to meet its match. A giant pan of piping hot oil. Leisurely, with one hand, the light as air mixture is shaped into a perfect donut and starts its path towards golden, crispy perfection. Crank up the heat for an inferno of angry flames, and a few moments later, the vada emerge from the hot oil, proud and glistening in the morning light. Time for the sambar. Get ready to see how 20 different ingredients transform into what is arguably South India's most iconic curry. Fenugreek seeds toasted in hot oil mark the inception of it all. Then coriander seeds, split chickpeas and lentils join the mix. Cumin and black pepper add more spice, chili some heat, and rice gives it texture. Now it's time for fresh curry leaves, and once the air is filled with the aroma of tempered spices, fresh coconut marks a finishing touch. But if you thought we're nearly there, think again. This, my friend, is merely the flavor base, which is now blended into a smooth spice paste known as the masala. Round 1 done, ready for round 2, bringing it all together. Mustard seeds light the ignition. Then onions, chilies and curry leaves unleash their aromas into the sizzling oil. Add some blended tomatoes for an umami kick, then season it with India's golden spice, turmeric. Showtime for the masala, the essential step that unites all of the aromas into a heavenly, creamy broth. A quick flavor check, but we're on track. Sambar is known as a lentil curry, so cooked and mashed lentils are now stirred in and flavored with tamarind water for a tangy boost. Round it off with some fresh coriander, then give it another taste and adjust with salt. Our sambar and vada finally meet, accompanied by 2 additional sides.
Here we go, we've got our vada, we've got our sambar, and there's 2 more additions on the plate. The classic coconut chutney, and we've got a different form of idli. This is tatte idli, which translates to plate idli because of the shape it's cooked in. But obviously I'm gonna try the vada first, so I'm gonna break off a piece and then dunk it into that sambar here and straight in. Oh, that combination just gives joy. You've got this super savory, I can't help but compare it to a donut, but obviously this is far superior to a donut because this one is made from lentils, so it's actually really nutritious. And when you break off a piece and dunk it into that sambar, that soft filling, you have a crunchy outside, but that soft filling soaks up that sambar. Oh, a little bit of crunch, and then that sambar and that flavor of those lentils in the batter just ooze into your mouth. The fun thing about eating dishes like this, right? You have the vada by itself, but it's really about combining flavors. So you can eat it by itself, you can dunk it in here into the sambar, but got a coconut chutney as well. Oh, It's a spicy, slightly spicy coconut chutney, but it has a cooling effect. So you get this cooling coconut with loads of coriander in there. And then over here we've got our tatte idli, the plate idli. Rip off a little piece of that, and that is just so spongy. You can imagine that to be the perfect sponge to, again, soak up that sambar. Merges into one bite, that's unbelievable. That is a perfect vessel to mop up flavor. Look at that, how it just soaks up the sambar. This idli is incredibly soft by itself, but when you combine it with a chutney or a sambar, it almost melts in your mouth. It disappears, you don't have to chew it. That is sensational. We're not quite done with the vada yet, because there's actually another way of eating it. This is the preferred way by locals. They serve it in a little bowl filled with sambar, and the vada is served in there to soak up all of that goodness. This is called dip vada. So this is actually the more traditional way for the locals here. You get 2 spoons with it to sort of break up a piece, and you can already see that all of that sambar is just drenching that vada. Wow. So you lose a little bit of that crunch, but that is gonna be one hell of a bite of sambar. It's like a waterfall. It just streams into your mouth. And the last option is get a little bit of that coconut chutney, drizzle that right on top, and you've got another way of digging in. That is good. That is good. And I just brought another one. So over here, it keeps going. Over here, we've got the masala vada. So this one is really, really crispy, and it's made with chickpeas. So, wow, that is warm. I'm just gonna break that in 2, and you can see the chickpea filling, loads of herbs, onions in there. Oh yeah, really crunchy. Loads of dill. They're really nice dill flavor, and because they're so flat, they are packed with crunch all throughout. So a little bit of a soft filling, but really it's all about that crunch. That's a really fun snack. That was an amazing beginning, but this place is not only known for Vada Sambar. They actually knock out one of India's most unusual dishes, made almost entirely from millet. This is Mudde Bassaru.
Wanna try a dish that's been eaten for more than 2,000 years? Ragi mudde is the one. With millet being one of the earliest cultivated crops, it has long found its way into traditional dishes that sustained entire civilizations. Known to be high in nutrients and incredibly filling, ragi mudde most likely emerged as a dish for farmers, fueling them for a physically demanding day in the fields. Varalakshmi still serves it today, a way of connecting with what's naturally available around her.
ಕಡೆ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೋಧಿ ಬೆಳೀತಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಜೋಳ ಬೆಳೀತಾರೆ. ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬೆಳೆಯೋದೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ರಾಗಿ. ಆ ಬೆಳೆಯೋದನ್ನೇ ನಾವು ತಿನ್ನಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ತರಿಸಿ ತಿನ್ನೋ ಬದಲು ನಾವು ಬೆಳೆದಿರೋದೇ ನಾವು ತಿಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬೆಳೆದಿರೋದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಏನು ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇರ್ತೈತಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಈ ಕುವೆಂಪು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ರಾಗಿ ತಿಂದು ನಿರೋಗಿ ಆದ್ರು ಅಂತ.
Made in an unusual way, there's also a twist to how ragi mudde is traditionally eaten. So let's check out this historic dish. But ragi mudde doesn't come by itself. It's part of a larger spread, and one integral part of it is bassaru, a fragrant curry made with a bucket load of herbs and greens. Before seeing it come to life, it was time for a quick visit next door.
Check out this room. It's like going to the local veg market. We're here to pick up some herbs for the bassaru. So over here, she is cleaning the herbs. Behind me is literally like bunches and bunches of herbs, and loads of them are used in the bassaru. So over here, we've got fenugreek leaves. So they're going in. We've got a bunch of dill. This is palak, so spinach. And then the last one is over here, check this out. This is amaranth. So you've got fenugreek and amaranth leaves, which are both also used as seeds. This room is unbelievable. Also check this out behind me here. This is just a huge, a huge bucket of garlic. Look at the size of that. Wow.
Now buckle up and watch how bassaru takes shape. To start, a mix of split chickpeas, mung beans and cumin seeds are added to a light broth that is already simmering with some of the greens. Then more amaranth, dill and spinach take a dive into the giant pan. Season it with salt and adjust with more greens, then let the furious boil take the lead and turn it all into a flavorsome broth. Time to strain. And moving on to the next part of the dish, the masala. Yep, you guessed it, this one too packs a pantry worth of ingredients that will send your taste buds into overdrive. First, split chickpeas and mung beans are sizzled in oil before some lentils join the mix. Then, let the flavors rain. Whole garlic cloves, chopped onions, 2 types of dried chilies, curry leaves, coriander seeds, black pepper, fresh green and red chilies, coconut pieces and tomatoes are added for a steaming fanfare of mouth-watering aromas and are soon united with some of the cooked leaves. Finally, this too gets a tangy kick from tamarind, before it's once again time to transform a vibrant mix of individual ingredients into a homogeneous spice paste that, without a doubt, must be the beginning of a good meal. To bring it all together, mustard seeds kick the dish into gear and are flavored with curry leaves, onions and the masala paste. Season it with salt, a touch of fresh coriander and finally the fragrant cooking liquid from all of the herbs. A bit more water for the perfect consistency like this, and the bassaru is ready. Then it's time for the beast, the ragi mudde. This one only takes 3 ingredients and a whole lot of muscle. Water, cooked rice and ground millet are cooked together until they begin to thicken. And that's when things start to take shape. With the help of 2 giant rolling pins and an ingenious method, the mixture turns from a thick batter into a thick dough. A very thick dough that needs some serious work. After passing the torch, it gets a final kneading and is ready to be spread out onto the bench. Here, the oddly satisfying texture is first shaped into a massive sausage, before it is one by one portioned and rolled into giant millet dumplings, the size of a cannonball. After an entire arsenal of them is ready to go, it's time for the ultimate test, to see how I fare with this historic meal of bassaru, cooked greens and ragi mudde.
Here we go, Mudde Bassaru. What a dish! I'm not quite sure what to make of it, I have to say, because this is what it looks like, right? So it looks like, it weighs a ton, by the way. This is really heavy. So you get a ball of millet, it's unseasoned, there's a bit of rice in there, that's it. And the really weird thing about this one is, you're not supposed to chew it. So what do? You take off a little piece, you scrunch it up into a little cylinder, and then you coat it with that fragrant oil. As I stir it, the smell, the aroma just comes through. So get a lot of that on there. You're not supposed to chew it, so I'm just gonna put it in my mouth, swallow it and see what happens. That is a weird sensation, because you get a little bit of flavor of the bassaru. Obviously you don't get any of the flavor of this because you're not chewing it. I'm gonna go against all odds and give it a little chew. I just need to find out what that millet tastes like. Okay. It's raw millet, cooked with rice, unseasoned. It's really all about dipping it into this fragrant aroma. And then you've also got all of these herbs that have been cooked down and then mixed with the chana dal and the mung beans. So after having the bassaru, you try these. Wow, what a punch of garlic together with all these steamed herbs. That is sensational, that is so wonderful. These two together, absolutely bonkers. Well, okay, now it's kicking off. If you mix and match, this is becoming absolute heaven. Oh yeah. Once you finish with the mudde, you've got a bowl of rice here. So I'm gonna put a little bit of that on here, go over that with the bassaru. Oh, I think this is where it's gonna be at. We've got these cooked down herbs, gonna put them next to it, and we're just gonna scrunch up that rice now. That is gonna be good. That is fragrant rice now. Just coats every grain with flavor. I mean, this is a complete meal because in the end you even get a dessert. So this is kesari ba. It's made with semolina, gets a golden color from saffron. So kesari means saffron. Traditionally, in most parts, this will be made with ghee. But she said she uses oil whenever she makes it. So you do have to check ahead. So I'm lucky today. I can try it and have a little dessert. Here we go. It's basically like a semolina porridge, right? It's a very smooth sort of porridge texture, sweetened with jaggery. Gets a little hint of saffron. That's very soothing. What a way to end this meal. But I have to say, this is a heavy lunch. I am stuffed because by the time you finish that mudde with the rice, the bassaru, the cooked herbs, you are packed. You are literally stuffed. That is heavy. So no wonder that farmers would eat this at the beginning of the day and they're set for the rest of the day. What a sensational experience. My time here in Bengaluru has almost come to an end, but there's one more dish I wanted to show you because we've seen how they make idli batter and how they use it for idli and dosa. That same batter is used for another dish that you can have as a breakfast, but also for an evening snack all across South India. Get ready for Uttapam. You'll find this in a lot of dosa and idli shops. This is the Uttapam. They also call it onion dosa here because obviously it's got loads of onions on here and it's similar to a dosa. It's the same batter. So let's tuck in. I'm gonna try the first one without any chutney. Oh, that is an amazing snack. It's really similar to a dosa. It's got that nice tangy fermented dosa flavor in the batter. But then that onion, it's almost still raw. It has a crunch, gives it a completely different direction. I'm gonna try with the chutney now. So we've got this coconut chutney here. Oh, you can never go wrong with coconut chutney. Just always packed with flavor, so rich. And then here they also serve it with a sort of mixed vegetable curry, served together with the uttapam. Oh, that makes it really savory. That actually turns that whole thing into a complete dish almost. So the fun thing about this is you can pass pretty much any dosa place on the street. This wasn't planned, we just passed here randomly. We went inside and asked if they're gonna serve us an uttapam. So it's a really fun way to sort of kick off the evening with a light snack. Guys, that was the end of my India trip. Let me know in the comments which country I should visit next and what kind of plant-based food I might be able to find there. I'm on a mission to show how traditional, natural and versatile vegan food can be. If you want to support that, then hit thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time.